Yo, what's up, guys? Jairus here, and welcome to another episode of Jairus Inspires Podcast. And today we have a very unique topic, and in front of me, the beautiful, the gorgeous, the sexy Nikki. How are you? How are you? It's been a
Hi.
long time.
Yeah, that's been a very, very long time. I cannot
When
remember
was that?
when was that. I think maybe
That was during the pandemic. As I remember, that was
4
during the
years
pandemic.
ago?
Yes. So I
Something like
remember,
that, yeah.
Nikki, we've been following each other for I don't know, for 4 or 5 years now, and that was during the pandemic. And then I think you texted me, you invited me to have a coffee, and
True.
then just to have. I don't know. Maybe I think you gave me some advices because you probably saw sad of due to the pandemic. So you gave me some words of wisdom. So yeah,
Yeah.
it helped me a lot. It helped me
I'm
out.
glad. I'm
And we
glad
have
it happened.
a common interest because our car. Same car, Dodge Charger.
Dutch family.
Dutch family. Even though they're replacing the engine now to to electrical.
Very sad and disappointing.
Yeah, exactly. So wow, it's nice to see you again. To be honest, yeah.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for
And-
inviting.
yeah, and I'm sorry for you walking that far.
No, that's okay.
Okay, so Nikki, yeah. First of all, introduce yourself. The floor is yours. I'll give you a few minutes. So yeah, talk to the audience. Go for it.
Sure. So, hi everyone. So, my name is Veronique Bezou, or I call myself Nikki. You can find me on Instagram at Nikki de Suerte. That's my nickname or stage name or artist name. I don't know already how to introduce myself, but that's actually the name that exists for many, many years. As my name is artist name for photography. So, yes, I've been a photographer for at least 15 years.
Yeah.
So that's my artist name.
Veronique.
De Suerte. De Suerte.
De Suerte.
Yeah, because it's not my
Wait,
surname name.
I thought this is your surname all this time.
No, I know lots of people
No
thought that
way.
it's my surname,
Oh,
but no, it's
so
not.
what De Suerte is?
Suerte, I mean, it comes from
Suerte.
it
Oh,
comes
suerte.
from
Yes,
Spanish.
suerte. Yes, it's also Tagalog word for, luck.
Yes.
Suerte. Okay, so it's just spelled S-U-E-R-T.
Exactly,
Which in our language is
suerte.
S-W-E-R-t.
No, it's Suerte, yeah, it's just in Spanish.
Yes. Okay, now. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, actually, when I was a kid, I was a big fan of Spain and everything Spanish, songs, Spanish movies, Spanish everything, flamenco
Wow.
and
Wow.
everything. So
Wow.
somehow I really wanted to keep something Spanish with me. So I got this,
Okay.
and I liked how suerte looks like and sounds, and And I thought, okay, let me get it in my nickname. At that time, I don't remember which social media we had at that time. I mean, we get it all
Already
by
multiply or MySpace?
Yeah, I think MySpace is something like that.
MySpace.
So it dates really from that time. And I said, okay, let me get something Spanish by then. And yeah, and I thought, okay, it should bring luck, right? So
yeah,
luck
man.
should bring luck. So
I mean,
that's how
you're
it
seeing your
happened.
profile right now. You're very successful. One of the most successful woman here in Dubai.
Come on.
Come on. But you're originally from France, right?
From France, yeah.
Wow, from France. Oh, so since when did you move to Dubai?
It's been already 6 years. It's my 7th year in Dubai.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So let's talk about your photography first before we go to the topic.
The main topic,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So
Okay,
photography, because we met through photography because she's been following me for quite some time now, and I like her photography. She do a lot of travel. And then I think sunset. You like
Yep.
the picture of
Yeah,
sunset. So
yeah.
how did you start photography?
Actually, I started photography again when I was a kid. I mean, when I was a real small kid.
How young?
Very young. I mean, not talk about age now anymore. I mean, let's avoid this
Okay,
topic.
sure,
how
yes,
young
exactly.
it is.
Okay.
We're
Young, super
we're
young,
from the same
super
era,
young,
so
okay.
you know what I mean.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So I like drawing actually. So I was drawing and painting, and it worked well till a certain moment. When you really want to picture something better, and especially I love sunsets and the colors of sunsets. So I always try to reproduce it with my drawings, but at the same time I didn't have the right skills, or I didn't really study that properly. And at some point I got super annoyed. I'm like, I see one thing and I cannot draw it. I cannot reproduce it. So I got very, very pissed with that. And I okay, I need to find a way to reproduce the same picture in a way. And
photography.
And that's how photography come up. So it's actually moved from the
Wow.
drawings and painting to photography.
That's
so
interesting.
that's how my parents offered me, the very small Canon.
Which camera?
It was a Canon, the
that-
very small one.
point and shoot, point and shoot, okay.
So that's how I started. I tried to do something. Of course, I didn't know anything about exposure and
Basically, point and shoot.
Yeah.
Point and shoot,
But
right?
at the same time, I tried to find the right mode. I was experimenting a lot. So, and I think it was 2009 where I got my first reflex camera.
Ooh.
And that's everything. Everything changed since
Which
then.
camera is your
Sony.
first?
Sony. And since then, I'm Sony.
You don't have to emphasize that. Canon, sorry. We will change the guest right now. I'm just kidding. This is not sponsored by Canon, even though I'm sponsored by Canon.
Yeah.
But this podcast is not sponsored by Canon. So Sony, if you want to, why not?
Yeah. So we're not promoting anyone here.
Exactly. Be careful.
Yeah. After all, it's not about
No,
the
just
camera.
kidding.
It's about the photographer.
Exactly. I like that. That's the best thing you said so far. So you're doing photography as a hobby since from 2009 you started you have your own camera, Sony, and then since when did you transition to being a professional photographer?
I think it was 2012 or 13. When I started to study a bit, let's say, on my own, and then some of my friends said, "Why don't you join a contest?" And I
Really?
full-fledged imposter syndrome. I was like, who
No
I am
way.
to join any photo contest.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So I joined. I didn't win,
Okay.
but at that time, it's the same thing that pissed me off.
Why did it piss you off?
I was like, I felt a bit upset. I said, not upset that I wasn't chosen, but upset like it means something is lacking because in the way the emotional part is there, because otherwise people wouldn't push me that hard, saying you should join, you should show what you're doing. But then the technical part was missing. And that's how I started. I actually started studying photography with professional photographers back in Paris. So with the ones who are shooting for Vogue, with the ones who are big artists. So, and I spent, I think, all the money that I ever earned on this. So I was really studying hard after work, weekends. Night photography, that was my real thing. So,
Didn't know
studying
that. Wow.
in, shooting very late, staying in the studio till 1, 2, so and then getting back to work the next day. So I was really, really, motivated to follow this journey. So, and then I joined the contest next year. So 1 year I was fully dedicated. And the next year I won.
Ooh, how much?
I mean, the prize wasn't actually money. The prize was the exhibition. So
okay.
three out of my 5 artworks actually were exhibited in Istanbul.
Yeah.
So I joined international Istanbul.
Oh my God,
it was international. Yeah.
Okay, that's an achievement.
So I was the only one from France representing France. So
No way! Wow, that's a good achievement. Congratulations. So because I saw also you did also some exhibitions here in Dubai. I saw your post.
I think in two years ago. I think 2 years ago it was in Picasso Gallery. So I had the full solo exhibition about the sunset and actually one sunrise, but the exhibition called Chasing the Sun. So I was traveling around Emirates and finding all the interesting spots. Around.
I saw all of that on her Instagram stories. Early in the morning. Going out in Fujairah or whatever with your car. What was her name again? What's his name again?
My travel companion was called Akela.
Akela, yes, Akela.
Like
Akela,
from
okay.
the Jungle Book. Yeah.
Akela, okay. Yeah. I mean, I've seen those adventures, and you're doing it alone, right? Wow.
Yeah, I always shoot alone. Yeah.
Imagine driving from Dubai to God knows where and doing it alone. It's something that I rarely do, especially these days. I prefer to have someone with me at least, because I don't know. I'm a very extroverted person. Maybe you're
I'm an introvert. So
exactly. That's why. So I'm very extrovert. So I prefer to always have someone because I don't know. I always have to talk with someone. Have jokes and stories stuff. So yeah. I mean, good for you. So
I mean, the creative process is always different for everyone, but for me,
true.
I need to create alone, so I can picture. I mean, very rarely I have someone with me. It happened. I should say it happened, but very, very rarely.
Oh, that's why before we had this agreement to have a photo shoot, but it never happened.
Yeah.
It never happened, right?
Well, I don't know why it never happened, but not because of me.
Not because of me. Maybe because of me. I don't know. I already forgot about it. But anyway, we're moving on. Okay, so let's go to the topic right now, which is again very unique for me, very interesting because when I was looking at her profile, because I really want to invite Nikki here in my podcast, but I just can't find the right topic or right interest, you know. So I was looking at her profile and saw one post, like one single post, and she said that she visited how many hotels again?
120.
120 hotels. Wow. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's it. Because again, like how many people traveled or stayed in 120 hotels, right?
Yeah,
Like,
who counts?
Yeah,
usually?
yeah, exactly. Who counts, you know? So 120 hotels, is that from the start? Started you counting, or is that the exact count of hotels you visited, or there's more?
No, I think it's not really exact.
Yeah.
But at some point, I started to count. I think because
Okay, so
I
that's
felt,
when you started counting.
Yeah.
Okay, got
I
it.
think
Okay.
I started
Should
to
be more,
count.
right?
It should be more
wow.
most likely, but
Okay, when did you start counting? Which year?
I think 2010.
Oh my God, that's kind of recent, you know. It's not, I was expecting like early 2000s, but okay,
No.
wow, 2010. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how I started. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so 120 hotels. So let's for sure you have a lot of stories to tell about all this. Okay, so where did it begin? Like what's with hotels? You know, what do you find with hotels that you find interesting? Why all of a sudden you started counting them? You know.
I mean, I think first of all, I think it comes from my mom. My mom likes hotels, so she always saying like it's so good to be in a hotel. Everyone is taking care of you. You know, I think that's usual thing. So partially I got it from my mom. But personally, I also like hotels because it's a different environment, and every hotel is different. It's surrounded by people. So even though from one side I'm very introvert, I really like not super enjoying the crowds, but at the same time, the hospitality itself, it's about people than the buildings, and the buildings as well are super interesting. I mean, and especially if you think about Dubai, it's super designed. If you go back to Europe, it's super classical and full of history. So every time you travel, you kind of you open a book, you know, a new book of this place. So this place has a concept, this place has a thought, history maybe, people who stayed there. And they genuinely, in a way, they genuinely taking care of you. So
Okay.
and yeah, it started just because of that. And then I started creating content.
Okay.
So
Which I saw some of your content. You know, you posted some from downtown, I think.
yeah, so I started creating content. Then hotels start contacting me saying, "Oh, okay, can we use it? And can we use that? Can you stay in our hotel?" So because again, I didn't do that like for money or anything. I really just enjoyed doing photography, and I said, okay, as I enjoy staying in the hotels, and of course, initially with my parents when we traveled, we didn't stay in a super luxury hotel. So then when I start working and in corporate and everything, I start traveling for business. I start traveling for even, you know, for my weekends. I start picking up the hotels, either very tiny and you know, cute, and having some, of course, a view. Obviously, for photography, it should have a view.
Of course.
The better if it's a sunrise or a sunset, but
yeah.
okay, at least it should have a beautiful view. So, and I start taking shots of this view. Then I said, okay, let me do something else to just a shot of the view. I mean, that's because the interior is also important. Interior looks also very nice. So I start shooting also interior, but I mean, I'm not an interior photographer. So I said, okay, let me try to take some selfies, you know, our type of selfies as a photographer. And I think till now, many people don't really understand that it's actually a selfie. That is not a professional shoot
selfie,
at all.
Yeah.
And then the hotels got curious because it's not a commercial kind of photo shoot,
true.
and they were like, oh, it's a very authentic, but at the same time, professional quality content. So that's how it continued, and I start and as I started so many hotels, actually I really know how it should be. So whenever I start going to hotels and something wrong is happening, then I immediately start, I'm the worst client ever.
No, really.
Today I'm the worst client ever
So,
because
so you're saying your standard is very high.
yeah, I would say that my standards I don't know if it's my personal standards are very high, but as I stayed in so many hotels
Yeah,
and
sure.
some hotels, I would say, not all hotels are so amazing, regardless the number of stars, regardless of
Yeah,
the
sure.
reputation or anything. But there are some hotels who really, really take care of you, so that you absolutely forgetting about how much you paid, and vice versa. Sometimes you feel like you go for a very luxury resort and you expect amazing service and you just don't get it, and you feel like somebody just ripped you off. So in a way, as I traveled, I start sharing these ideas with the management of hotels. So because we start having some struggles, I don't know, they were giving room with a construction view for my birthday, something like that. So obviously I was making lots of scandals everywhere, and that's how I start talking to the management. And then I start sharing, what, if you do this, if you do that, that's how it should be. That's what
It's
you
good
can
that
do.
you're giving valuable feedback to
Absolutely.
the hotel itself.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
And it's direct feedback, right?
Yeah.
While you're staying.
Yeah.
Wow. Because a lot of guests, they wait for them to leave and then write on a Google review or whatever, So for you, it's direct.
No. I mean, I try to. I mean, okay, if the hotel is perfect, there's nothing to say apart to tell them, okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
But if there is anything, and sometimes even in Dubai, it happens several times. The hotel itself is nice, people are amazing, but something is wrong. Some small things is wrong. So. I mean, if you can just give the honest feedback and people can change this very small thing, that will make the whole difference.
Exactly, yeah.
And maybe, I don't know, a good number of people won't recognize this detail, but maybe the dream client would obviously recognize. So.
Yeah, good. I mean, out of this 120 hotels, how many are in Dubai?
In Dubai, I think it should be less than 10. So
Wow.
it's altogether
So there's different countries.
35 countries. Yeah.
35 countries. Oh, so are you the type of guest that try all the amenities in the hotel, or as much as you can, try as much amenities as you can? Because for me, whenever I go to hotel, I just want the room. That's it. room, swimming pool. That's it. But for you, do you try everything, like a gym, the spa, or
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I cannot say that I go there and I try literally everything, but I pay attention of how they sell it, how they offer things. So sometimes. For example, I'll give you a story here. I stayed at Truffles in close to Wafi Mall, and actually I really loved my stay. And it's a very old hotel, and they know it.
I think I've been there. Yes, I've been there.
Yeah, and they know it. But that's an example where the lack of maybe modernity or some amenities in the hotel fully compensated by the staff, who is super, super warm and helping and welcoming, etc., etc. And the funny part is I stayed there for one night. That's one of the things that I can do. I can stay just one night and work, actually, just because I want to change. I don't want to go to office. Don't want to stay at home. I want to go somewhere and I can work and relax in a calm. So I went there for this, and I got the room. I think at the time I got a suite with the very amazing view on the skyline, and I was waiting for the sunset to get this view, obviously. But I went, I had lots of calls and everything. So I came there, I said, look, guys, and they were like, we have afternoon tea. And I'm like, guys, I don't need anything. I just need my room. I will have a calls, and then I have my sunset, and maybe I will have a dinner, but that's not the main thing. And they were like, no, you should absolutely come for the afternoon tea, because it's included in your price. And I'm like, no, I don't care. I mean, it's okay. I just have no time. They were like, no, come with the computer. Come with the computer. Come, you will enjoy. So I felt like, okay, I need to go. I mean, what can I do? Because if they insisting that much, and I came to the lobby for the afternoon tea. And actually, I'm allergic to eggs. So
Eggs.
yeah,
Oh.
so it's a big pain because of course all the cakes, pastry, and everything contains eggs. So afternoon tea for me doesn't mean the same, I would say. So when I came, now like, guys, actually I'm allergic to eggs, so I don't think that I can eat any of this. And they were like, okay, you know what? Give us 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, they will bring me fruits, like usual thing. You won't believe me. In 10 minutes, they brought me the whole assortment of different things, all vegan, pastry, what was that? Lots of desserts, lots of things, and all vegan. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, I almost put on hold my phone. I was like, wait, this is not possible. In 10 minutes, how did you make it?
Yeah,
and they were
right.
like, "Wait, that's
good.
and that's what I was saying. That's what luxury means. Every time, in Dubai, we talk about everything is luxury here, like luxury, bespoke, and whatever not. But what actually luxury is, and that's something that when I visit or I stay in the hotels, and if I have a chance to talk to the management, we discuss a lot here, back in Europe. What luxury means. 5 stars, what does it mean? At which extent you can say, okay, that's a luxury hotel. How you define that. For me, luxury is actually anticipating my wishes. So I don't have this wish yet, but you kind of know that I would love this.
Yeah.
So when they anticipate that and when they actually give it to you before you want it, that's where luxury comes in. That's where you will be like, okay, take my money.
Yeah. I mean, it speaks a lot about their dedication and passion for their customers, right? It's something that also I've learned from my business, when dealing with clients, you have to at least show them something they don't expect. So when you do something they don't expect, that's usually how you get this client become loyal to you.
Yeah.
So
I mean, in all these 120 hotels, this is 120 distinct hotels. It's not number of stays.
Yeah.
So there are few hotels in the world where I stayed several times, and I keep going there. No matter what, I'm always staying there. And there are maybe very, very few in the UAE, and there is one hotel where I think I've been to there 4 times. It's very expensive, but this is the only hotel that I can say it's a 5-star, and it's as I said, it's expensive, but at the same time, it's the only hotel where you're forgetting that you're paying this price.
does it start with letter B? Why don't you want to say the hotel name?
No, the hotel.
I was like, I'm waiting for you to drop the hotel name.
Yeah.
Because
The
you mentioned
suspense.
you mentioned Raffles, and I was like, why is she not mentioning the which
Okay.
hotel? Are you comfortable to
I'm
mention?
ready to mention. Yeah, of course, I'm ready to mention. I mean, free advertisement, guys. Don't forget, some
Exactly,
promo codes.
I'm going to tag them in this video. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, I'm always promoting them actually. And they don't need the promotion. I'm talking about the Kingfisher Retreat by Sharjah Collection. So that's a hotel situated in Kalba.
Never heard of them.
On the
Wow.
Kalba, on the border with Oman.
Ooh.
So it's a very beautiful place, situated on a private island. So it's a retreat. So basically you live in a tent, but outside looks like a tent. When you enter there, it's 5-star room with your own pool on the beach. So there is no cars. There are only animals running around you. So it's totally.
What's the name again? Now you're making me very curious. I'm checking my phone right now. Can you type the hotel name?
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
checking it live right now, guys. I want to see how beautiful this hotel is.
Yeah,
And I'm going to
actually they use some of my photos for their promotion.
Okay, so Kingfisher Retreat by Sharjah Collection. I'm going to tag them in this video, and come on, maybe we can do something together.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and this hotel, as I said, I mean, the first time I went there, I think it's been 3 or 4 years ago, when they were not famous at all. So I got it from I got it from a friend.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah, that's a very.
so this is the tent you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
shoot. And it's just right beside the beach.
Yeah. It's a very wild place. It's a protected area, so you can actually you sleep among the birds and animals
never
and
heard of
crabs
them.
and everything.
Wow.
So it's an amazing place. As I said, it's not cheap, but that's maybe the only hotel where I can say like exactly that's the guys that can walk next to you. So that's the where literally you're forgetting the price. You're forgetting the
How
price.
much?
I think one night. It depends on the season, obviously, but I think one night is I don't want to
Or 1,000?
2,000, 3. Yeah, depending on the.
Expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, but as I said, I mean, when the first time I came, and the story comes from there. So the first time I came, I stayed, and actually we were shooting a video for them. So that's the video. You can see it on my profile as well. The video comes from very old times.
Okay.
So we shot the very first kind of small promo for them.
Okay.
And so when I came there and we were shooting, Floyd commercial, obviously, and I stayed there. And I'm like, okay, let me stay. And I stayed one night. And I felt like this place is weird. Like energy is very weird.
Weird in a positive way, right?
In the beginning, I was a bit, I would say, skeptical because I was like, imagine it's an island where, I mean, there is nothing. Like there is no kind of our city infrastructure, nothing. So it's super silent. You can hear the waves while you're inside of the room at night.
Wow.
You wake up with birds. You wake up with sunrise. So because the sunrise is just looking directly to your, to your room. So very different feelings. But I think today in the UAE, it's really my spot of healing and regeneration. So that's where I go, where I need to reconnect. With myself, with nature, just to feel differently. If I cannot travel outside, I go there. So that's my spot. But coming back to the hotel itself as a service, let's say the hospitality part, I remember. So when you reach this place, so you go to Kalba, you park your car, and then you take a boat because you cannot go by car.
Oh, okay. I was expecting there's like a drive from Dubai.
No. So you take a boat, and I mean, people are super, super welcoming. And actually, you have your own butler.
Your personal butler.
Yeah.
The whole stay.
Yes. So someone who is like 24 hours on WhatsApp. I mean, that's something that I experienced once, maybe in Istanbul. So that's why I was like, okay, that's interesting where it goes now. And they seriously, I mean, after 4 years, they kept the records. So, for example, they know I'm allergic to eggs.
Yeah.
They know plenty of things that I told them.
Down, yes.
So they really, really keeping the notes.
Wow.
And actually, this guy is welcoming you on the other side, on the island. So that's the same guy with whom you chatted just before. So he's asking, what time are you planning to come? Do you want me to book something for you? This is our services. This is our activities. Do you want something? So... And I was like, I want this, I want that, at which time, like everything. You want a bonfire, you want a private bonfire.
Oh my God.
So everything on WhatsApp, like this quick. And then when you were there, so the guy is like, okay, you have a dinner at, let's say 7. So do you want me to come and pick you up? I'm like, no, we will walk. And then, okay, if you need anything, if your shampoo is over, just chat me. In the morning, okay, I hope you had a pleasant night. So do you want to pick up a boogie to go for breakfast? Like it's the next level of hospitality. And that's why I'm
Next
saying.
level. Yeah.
And the next time that I was coming, I wasn't even going to reception to check in because they already had all my data. So I was checking in my room. So I was just signing and, giving my Emirates ID and paying in the boogie. So I wasn't even entering. And every single time I was leaving the hotel, every single time the general manager was coming.
General manager itself.
Yes,
Wow.
was coming, giving some water for us for the drive back, asking how was it. So I was giving the honest feedback, saying, that's small things that I would still, would love to have, like personally. And they were really seriously taking notes because the next time I was coming, like for example, the first time I was like, I wish there were some fresh fruits in the room, And they were like, yeah, but you know, the food stays, it's get rotten, etc. That there are some reasoning behind. I'm like, yeah, but still, would be nice. Would be nice to have something. The next time I'm coming, there are fresh fruits in my room.
Wow. That's next level of customer service.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying, the small things, but it makes such a big difference. And you want to go back. You say, okay, whatever, take my money. I want to go back because this experience you really can't get anywhere else.
Okay. Now I wanna experience that, guys. We just gave you 10 minutes of exposure in this podcast, so I mean, why not? Why not? Let's try. I'm going to tag them in this episode. But anyway, so you mentioned your best hotel experience, right? Was that your best hotel experience?
One of the best, yeah.
Okay, one of the best. Okay, now let's go to the worst. We don't have to name drop them if you want, but for sure you have your worst hotel experience.
Yeah,
so
I do.
Name one. Come on, just share one experience.
Yeah. So my very, very worst experience was in Canary Islands.
Where's that?
So Canary Islands, it's Spanish islands in Atlantic Ocean.
Okay.
So I went there for New Year. And that's how the 100% you can spoil your New Year. Because actually we were going with my husband and going with my parents. So my parents, they picked up their hotel and we were like, no, we will go for 5-star. Wrong, very wrong. So we paid, I remember at that time, it was long time ago. So nowadays I don't have no idea about the pricing even. To be very honest, I even don't remember the name of the hotel. So I wish I...
That's how bad the
seriously,
experience was.
It was like super bad. But one thing I remember, because I was like screaming that we paid like 5,000 euro for this stay. And when we arrived, so it's a long flight actually from Paris. I was flying from Paris. When we arrived, so it was already evening. We come to the hotel, and then they were like, yeah, sure. They give us the hotel, the room. We enter in the room. Strangely, it's on the ground floor. And like, okay. So because it's supposed to have a view, you remember?
Sure,
always pay for the room with a view. So ground floor, opening the balcony door, and you're in a terrace which is looking to the
you see
wall.
People passing by.
No, it's a wall.
It's a wall. Oh God!
And it's like it's already late in the evening, so you're like, okay, maybe we should sleep, and then next morning try to understand what's going on. And then we're like, hey, but wait, there is a kind of vibration in the room, like. There's a vibration. And then I'm like, okay, actually there is a generator next door.
You're living next to the generator.
Yes.
And it's loud and it's very shaky.
Yeah, it's getting shaky. So it's like, no. There is no way we stay. We cannot stay inside. So we come to the reception, start kind of, starting the whole scandal thing and saying, come on. We came all the way from Paris. We paid all this money because, it's a premium price because of the new year and etc. So, and they try to explain, no, but actually, and we say this cannot be our room that we booked, like literally, because as I said, there is no view, there is this, there is that. It's just impossible that that's the correct room. And they continued, yeah, but actually we are full and this and that. I'm like, yeah, but it's not my problem, right? I paid the money, so where is the room? And they're like, yeah, but still, actually there is a lady, she got sick and we cannot kick her out and everything. So like, okay, what can we do now? So what can you do? We are full, so there is no other place and we cannot physically stay in the room. It's just shaking, like physically it's impossible. So he said, yeah, but we have a kind of sister hotel, but it's not 5-star, it's 4 stars. I'm like, whatever. Okay. Yeah, so can you stay one night there? Okay, you have either generator room or to go somewhere. So I said, okay, fine. Okay, we are obviously very tired and very upset, but what to do? So we go to this 4-star hotel, and it turns to be like, one of these hotels for retired people. Full of old ladies and, and it's an all-inclusive.
It's like home for the aged,
Yeah, exactly. So, and we arrive, young and wild and like, wait. Okay. And then again, as we were not planned for this hotel, the hotel itself is also like, oh wait, yeah, I think we might have a room for you. I'm like, what do you mean you might have a room? I mean, it's really
God.
running late. So, and then they give us a room. So we entered a room, and this room happened to be just opposite to the kitchen. And
It's getting worse and worse.
yes, and we were like, okay, now we just need to sleep and just forget about everything. So we entered the room.
Wait,
And,
are we still on the same day?
yeah,
Same day.
Yeah.
So though before New Year, right?
yeah.
31st. Okay.
yeah. So, and it was just, I think it was 28 or 29,
Okay,
so
got
a
it.
few days just before the New Year. So, in that room, actually, I saw a cockroach.
Oh my God. Okay.
I said that cannot go any worse than that.
There's no excuse.
No.
I mean, there's no excuse.
So we managed to sleep because it was already like midnight and something. So like, okay, we just need to sleep because we had all this flight and travels and struggles and shouting and screaming. So we need just to sleep. So we slept. In the morning, we're like, okay, so the other hotel, so is there a room where we can move?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we're still searching. And like, what do you mean you're still searching? And we said, we cannot stay in this room because, well, it's opposite to kitchen. And like, it's not a normal room anyway. I think maybe it's for the staff or something. This just cannot be wrong, you know. So they moved us from that room to in the same hotel upstairs. So they kind of upgraded us. While while we were supposed to be in the 5-star hotel, you know, with a view to the ocean and whatever. But well, we are still
I can't
struggling.
wait for the punchline.
Yeah, so we're still struggling being there. So they're still searching for the room that we are paid for. So at some point we said, of course, obviously we start going like, okay, where is the manager? Where is the general manager? Where is anyone? So who is that? And at the same time, my parents are chilling in the 4-star hotel somewhere in the other place and saying like, guys, you should have just booked a normal hotel, not search for 5 stars, you know. So yeah, we waited. At some point, my husband said, you know what, if by 4 today we don't get the room in the normal hotel, in the one that we booked actually, like I will book the flights back. Like we won't stay. Come on, I mean, this is a struggle. So I think we got the room like at around 4. So we were literally checking the flights.
Okay, so you didn't spend the New Year in?
No,
we
we did. But we spent 2 days out of 5 in the random place. So and when we were brought back to that hotel, so of course they upgraded us and whatever not, and we met the general manager, obviously, who was like, I think the whole hotel knew our names.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So they were giving us vouchers for lunch and dinner and whatever. So, but then again, you know, everything could have been nice till the moment where, of course, we gave all the dresses, everything for the New Year's Eve to the pressing.
Yeah.
And so it's 31st of December and 7 p.m. and the dresses are still not in the room.
Oh God.
So yeah, so that I will. But anyway, we got them late, so of course the whole mood was off, So I
as you
still
said,
remember
that's the worst time to waste your New Year.
Yeah, no. So that's why I still remember. I mean, it was a lot of struggles. And lots of money wasted like that, and it was my last time in Canary Islands.
Wow. Okay, that was very interesting stories, and I didn't expect to hear this kind of good storytelling from you. You know, because again we rarely chat, but you know when we chat only like few words. But I didn't expect to hear this kind of amazing storytelling skills from you. You know, just I clap you for that. So Nikki, is there So it's 120 hotels, right? So for sure you have some tips and tricks that you could share to us or to me that would blow our minds. You know, is there any tips that you want? For example, is it something that you learn from either from booking or for choosing the right hotel? Is there any that tips and tricks that you think you're the one who only know?
I don't think that I know something very particular about that. I mean, obviously always check to see if there is any promotions on the hotels, because first I'm talking about the 5-star hotels, because very often they do promotions, and it becomes interesting. Like I remember I stayed in Jumeirah Emirates Towers. I stayed in the biggest room. I mean, I had a very bad day, and I'm like, okay, I will go to the hotel. I booked just like that on my phone from Booking.com, Jumeirah Emirates Towers. I came to them and said, like, okay, give me the biggest room you ever have. And they gave me I think it was executive suite or something like that. Wow. So it was huge. Like I got lost there. Like literally, it's a half of the tower, so it's on half of the floor. And I remember that I paid like less than 2,000 for that, and
promotion, right? So
so sometimes you have very nice promotions. I mean, even when you fly for some destinations, I don't know, Maldives or some other destinations, you can have very interesting promotions. So just keep an eye. If you have a destination where you really want to go, or even better, if you have an hotel that you're like super interested, you really want to go there one day, just keep an eye on it, because sometimes you can really be, surprised that they have some, I don't know, 40-50% off, and then becomes suddenly very accessible to you. Another advice for me is always check all the small things, small punto, and in the description of the rooms. So sometimes, what is included, what is not included, what is included in the price excluded, because in different countries you have the taxes that are coming, whether included, excluded. So be sure what you actually will be paying at the very end. So make sure that you read very, in details all the things. And just know how the things should be, because sometimes, we are all humans, and it's a human error just not to maybe give you something which you paid for in terms of service. So something that you need to know what's supposed to be there, how they're supposed to treat you. Just be kind to people, because sometimes they can be, they can treat you even better if you're just kind.
That's true. Nikki, let's talk about the bigger picture here. So, because you visited 120 hotels. It's not joke, It's not joke amount of money and effort. Is there a bigger plan for this hobby of yours? Is there something that you wanna make money off of, or is this something that you want to make as a career? Because you can, if you really want to, because you can collaborate, you can create content, or you can even become like a consultant or whatever, right? So is there any bigger plan for this?
I don't know. As of now, I cannot say that I have like a structured business plan for that. But definitely, I would love to use this knowledge, let's say, and experience in a way. First of all, as I said before, I was shooting for the hotel. So some photos you can see on the web pages or social media and everywhere. I would say that I would really love to collaborate with hotels on the, to be a mystery shopper, so that I can actually tell them all the, give them this feedback on the services to see, how they can, be benchmarked.
So you mean you'll pretend as a guest, but in fact you're actually the one checking the
exactly.
Okay.
I did that a lot for the airlines.
Oh,
I was a mystery client for many years for Air France.
Wow, I didn't know that exists.
When you travel too much, at some point
Why not?
they
And it sounds
you.
like a very niche kind of career, which for sure pays a lot, because not so many people are doing that, right? I assume.
There are agencies actually who are providing this service, but again, I'm not sure. You can be very good at hospitality, but for example, as I said, the luxury experience, it's the notion which is very vague and very subjective as well. So someone will go and getting some free chocolate will be like, oh my god, that's luxury. Right? But when you know the standards, you're like, well, no, that's obviously part of the deal. So
Wow, Nikki, just this question just literally come right now. What's the most important aspect of a hotel for you? Like, is it hospitality? Is it the interior? Is it the vibe, or the smell, you know?
I don't think that. I think it's a concept. It's all together. I think that's the
Overall experience.
I think it's experience, the main thing, and consistency. So again, you go for not a luxury hotel. You go for the kind of lifestyle hotel. So when you read how you pick up an hotel, right? You pick up because of the location, because you have some other plans, and you say, okay, I will stay there because it's near to the location. Price, obviously, you say, okay, it's a nice, convenient price. But interiors are amazing. There are good feedbacks, etc., etc. So when you read it, you have an image of the hotel before you ever reached it. So when you go there and by any means it's inconsistent with what you read and you thought, that's the biggest hit. So that's a thing which spoils everything. It doesn't matter the number of stars or anything or the price. It doesn't matter anything. And that's why it's so difficult to recover that. Example, another hotel in Dubai that actually wanted me to stay there, but I never went. A 5-star hotel, super, super luxury, whatever. And 3 times I came there for a meeting, and 3 times nobody was picking up my car and valet parking.
Okay.
And I always say, hotels start with valet parking. It's like, imagine you come to someone's home and nobody's opening the door.
And you've been waiting for God knows how long,
Yeah.
right?
So, and you're knocking the door and nobody's opening. So are you interested to actually enter someone's home when you're not feeling welcome?
True.
So that's why I'm always saying, especially in Dubai, where everyone is on the cars, you need to have this first faces ready and welcoming. That's super important.
Yeah.
And then, all the other things can be covered. I think also we have the expectations on the amenity side in the rooms. I'm not talking about the gym and everything. I'm talking about the room itself. So, for example, nowadays we all have smartphones. We all have all the connectivity, and so you expect that when you come there, you can connect everything to everything.
True.
So still there are many hotels in the UAE even where you cannot connect anything. They're still like, okay, you need to plug something to something, and like we are still plugging. I even don't know if I have such a port on my computer. Or I cannot connect my phone to the speaker or
right?
all these things. So something which becomes super basic for a certain level of hotels. So I think, so that's why experience itself. I think the consistent experience from when I reach, somebody opens the door, taking care of my luggage, reception, explaining me, okay, this is where you go, somebody bringing the luggage or not, doesn't matter. And then what you see in the room, and then the whole experience, how they're taking care of you, and the checkout, and how they bring you your car and putting your luggage inside. So from A to Z, so I think that's the most important thing, consistency.
Yeah, first impressions last, right?
And I think every hotel every hotel has a concept. Every hotel has a kind of story. So more consistent they are by keeping this story. So that's a journey itself. Why would you go for a staycation? I mean, we live in Dubai, so it's not for Dubai that you go for a staycation, or you go to Abu Dhabi. It's not because of travel, right?
Sure.
So, but there are plenty of hotels who actually tells you a kind of different story. It gives you different experience, and you go there for that. So you expect that this story is told from the beginning till the end. So if some parts are missing, I don't know, the room service is bad, or I don't know, something, which another story of the hotel in Abu Dhabi, you cannot reach anyone, or etc. So that's spoiling a lot.
Yeah. I want to attest to that story. Each hotel have different story, and I really like because I see your post. Whenever you go to a hotel, take pictures and post on Instagram, you always have a story to tell. And you mentioned that in some of your posts. So every hotel you have this kind of different story. So I really like seeing your content, your posts, and I hope I see more of that, in the future,
True.
Especially your photography. I wish it's something that you could, incorporate back again. So Nikki, thank you so much. Is there anything you want to add, or are we good?
I think maybe I would add one small thing for particularly for the female audience. There are still too many women who are not traveling alone and waiting for the best friends, boyfriends, family, anyone to join them in these journeys. And my message is: don't wait, go for it, travel. Of course, be super cautious. Be mindful where you're going. Not every country is UAE, so different countries you need to be cautious as a woman traveling alone. But go for it. Like seriously, you are missing out a lot if you're waiting for something or for someone. I think I think it's our French expression saying that a woman who goes alone to the restaurant is not afraid of anything. And I think my first time when I went to the restaurant for a dinner alone, I think it's quite recent, maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago. It was in Switzerland, and it was perceived very weirdly because in Europe, not so many women actually going to the restaurant alone. It's not like in the UAE, nobody's actually questioning that. But in Europe, yeah.
Why?
I don't know, maybe very old kind of mindset. So actually, when I came to the restaurant and they were waiting to serve me, and I was like, when I will get the food? They were like, we thought you were waiting for someone.
I thought you were waiting for someone.
Like,
okay.
I'm all alone. And they almost felt pity for me, so they served me some free salads and something. But I mean, I know that many women have this blockage and saying, okay, yeah, maybe some people will think that I have no one to go with or something. Trust my word, I traveled, maybe 50% of my travels, I traveled alone, not because I have nobody to travel with, but because I really enjoy traveling alone, maybe to the places I already traveled several times, but I rediscovered these places. So please go. Just go for it. You will be amazed by the feelings, by the way you will be reconnected to yourself, by the way you will heal. You will hear your mind, and you will actually discover the place from maybe the place you know very well, but first time you will go there alone, and you will do, and you will walk, and you will see it very, very differently.
Wow, Nikki, wow, thank you so much, and thanks for sharing your amazing experiences. The moment I saw that story of yours of 120 hotels, I was like, for sure, 100%, you have a lot of amazing stories to tell, which you did just now, and thank you so much. And I hope our viewers will get a lot of valuable lessons from this. And keep on exploring a lot more hotels. Yeah, how
Thank
many?
you.
What's the maximum? What's the,
There is no maximum. There is no maximum.
Yeah, are we going for 200?
Well, why not? Why not?
Why not? Right? Okay,
Why not?
guys, thank you so much, Nikki.
Thank
Nikki,
you so much.
Thank you so much. Hope to see you again.
Thank you so much.